And welcome to the emergency podcast for Lakers Pulse. I'm Clayton Fawcett, joined by Nelson. How are you doing, Nelson?
Terrible. I have felt this crushed since ever, really. I mean, the D'Angelo Dick Young scandal is up there, but I think I'm definitely just devastated right now. So
yeah. I mean, it's really kind of hard at the moment just to effectively put into words what I'm feeling. I've kind of just been worn out by the day.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So first off, let's say exactly what happened. Obviously, today, Adrian Wojnarowski announced that the Los Angeles Lakers will be trading on Thursday D'Angelo Russell and Timofey Mozgov for Brook Lopez and the number 27 overall pick.
Mm-hmm.
What was your first reaction when you saw that?
Well, to know my reaction, you have to know where I was. I was at a pizza place because we went. Me and my mom and my sister went out to eat, and I ordered my pizza. I sat down. I looked at my phone, and then I saw Woj's tweet pop up, and instantly, I just started shaking a little bit, and I tried to make sure if it was fake or not because it seemed pretty fake. But no, that's all that it turned out to be real, and that's all the Lakers got for D'Angelo Russell. And at first I just couldn't believe it, and then once I realized that it was real, um, like I just sort of all hope in the future just kind of stopped for a moment, and I was kind of well. So the Lakers, they're doing it. They're gonna execute this plan to get Paul George and LeBron James and get all these guys signed in free agency. They're gonna try to. I mean, I don't think they're gonna get very far in that plan, but they're gonna try to. They're gonna shoot their shot and they're gonna free up cap space. And I mean, the first thing in my head was wow, they gave up a little bit for Mozgov, and then I saw Ramona Shelburne tweet that his value was already really low, and that they were trying to shop him for a lottery pick, and that they couldn't get him. I don't know if that was if that came from the Lakers or if if that's just them trying to legitimize or justify the trade. But yeah, I just think that it's a really bad trade, and right from the moment I knew that the Lakers were going to start making moves to push all in on Paul George and LeBron James. So
I want to first say something real quick, something that I've already seen in the live chat and from quite a few people on Twitter, social media. People think that this opens up another space for max contract. It actually does not do that. You still are going to have to dump Deng and Jordan Clarkson in order to do that, because the stars that you're going to try to be bringing in are between a 30 and a 35% of the max. So it literally does not do that.
yeah.
It does not. You're still going to have to get rid of Deng, Clarkson, and then probably let Randall walk in order to get all that cap space, and that's with not adding any salary this offseason.
Yeah.
Okay. Another thing, Brook Lopez is a good center offensively.
Mm-hmm.
The dude does not rebound, and he doesn't play defense. Nelson, what has been the position I say is the most important position to have defense on?
The center position, I think.
The center position. What does Brook Lopez bring to that position?
A bit of spacing and some ability to score, and that's really it.
Does he bring defense to the equation?
Not anything that's good. So,
No.
Yeah.
No. So while someone said that in the live chat that it was a top 10 center offensively, maybe he's really good offensively. He doesn't provide a lick of defense, and like I said, that's the most important position to have defense had.
Yeah, right.
So all this talk of the Lakers want to add defense has just been a complete and utter sham. So this
Yeah.
just to get back to the actual trade before analyzing everyone. This trade dumps Mozgov, which really the worst contract isn't even Mozgov, it was Dang.
Yeah.
He makes more, and he's actually analytically
Worse.
by far, worse than Mozgov. So I think your fan is messing with your mic.
Oh,
sorry about that.
Better not. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's just really hot, so I have like 2 fans going at the same time.
Yeah. No, I do too. You get rid of Mozgov, but you don't get rid of Dang. Which is that's just like whatever. I mean, you have to get rid of these contracts one way or another. But like the best way to get rid of these contracts isn't this year. You're not signing anyone this year.
Right.
Right? Mm-hmm. There's no one that you like unless you're trying to go after Gordon Hayward. And why the hell would Gordon Hayward come here? There's absolutely no reason for him to come here.
Right.
So you're not signing anyone that's going to like bring incredible talent to your team. You're going to need to sign people like an Ian Clark, Mike Muscala. Well, no, you don't even need Mike Muscala now, but you need a defender. But honestly, I don't know. I don't know who that is unless you're going to pay Dwayne Dedman like a big contract for a single year. Then of course you lose your point guard, and for some reason people refuse to look at like Lakers film room. Pete is awesome with this. We agree a lot in a lot of things. Lonzo profiles best as a secondary ball handler and creator at the 2. He's good, especially in Luke's system. Now with this trade, the fit is, as Ben Rosales said as well, this is a very questionable fit.
Right.
I do not like Lonzo being a true point guard. And he's not even necessarily that traditional point guard that people still effing love. It's like you don't want him to be John Stockton. You don't want him to be a guy like that. So you trade the 2nd overall pick for a center who is essentially all he is an expiring contract. If you bring him back after this year, someone effed up.
Yeah.
It's someone really, really effed up.
Mm-hmm.
You got the 27th pick, but now there's rumors that is being attempted to be put into a package for Paul George. So not only did the Lakers have assets and all the leverage on the Pacers, but now they lost quite possibly their best asset.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if his value is down across the league. Like you've effectively, like I know a lot of really smart people are giving this like a B, just mainly because of getting rid of Mozgov, but I mean, it's just a stupid trade. At best, I could give it a D+, a C-.
Yeah, definitely.
If like you got 27 to throw at Indiana and get Paul George, there was, and then David Aldridge had a rumor that the Lakers were trying to trade down from 2 to 5 and 10, and then use 10 to package with 27 and 28 to get Paul George. So the front, like I'm rambling. I'm sorry. It's all coming out at one time. They they go from having leverage and assets to stumbling over themselves like bumbling jackasses, not knowing exactly what the hell they're doing. They have like there's more and more freaking reports coming out that it looks like they're clueless. Like you would think that at least Pelinka, huge broker agent, would know what he's doing, because this is part of being an agent, is setting up trades and stuff. So like Yeah, I think they just massively effed up. Like I, me and Nelson, when they announced Magic Johnson, me and him were pissed
Yep.
because we were afraid that Magic Johnson was going to become essentially his persona from Twitter. And Nelson has continued to be skeptical, and I bought into a lot of their stupid talk, and I'm an idiot for that because apparently he actually is his Twitter persona. And like, what you really think you're going to get LeBron James? They're still not going to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Like, if you honest and like when LeBron comes, he's going to be 34 years old. You really think you're going to make a finals run or a Western Conference Finals run? Like,
Yeah.
if the Warriors are still like, unless they somehow get disbanded, like you're not even competing with them because you have 2 stars to 4, and then
Right.
you have no one around them. I mean, unless you really think Lonzo Ball is going to off the bat, but pay attention. Rookie point guards always struggle.
hmm
So
Yeah, I mean, like they're definitely gonna learn their lesson the hard way. And I mean, like this is gonna be a really interesting year because you know, a lot of people, like there's certain people, you know, Tim, who's been talking up Lonzo and still believes that he could be a primary initiator. You know, he's definitely one of the more positive people that I've seen on that side of the spectrum. I'm definitely more negative, and I'm really down on the fit now, just because I just don't think that, you know, his best role is going to be as a primary initiator. And if you get LeBron, that's still 1 year of having Lonzo as your primary initiator, which is pretty rough. Just because, I mean, if you
apparently we don't like Magic Johnson in that position, according to Michael Nasby. That's why we don't like the trade.
no, that's not why. I'd be more than happy to have been wrong on Magic Johnson and the whole new front office. I gladly would have loved to admit that I'm wrong. I was wrong, but I don't think that I was.
Oh, he said we could trade a second round pick. No, you're not listening. Just don't. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to close the live chat because people are. If they honestly think that's the reason why we're pissed, then this isn't the podcast for you.
Yeah, I mean, the reason
So,
that we're mad is because you traded away a guy who, in 2 to 3 years, I viewed as being a certified star, and then from then on, I still think that he has a superstar type ceiling. And if you just trade that guy away in a salary dump, which that's what this is. This is a salary dump. This is not, you're not acquiring Brook Lopez, a superstar or star or anything like that. You are not pairing Brook Lopez with Paul George, and that is going to be your core to try to get into the playoffs. That is not what they are planning on. They're planning on something bigger than that. And if this is just for a salary dump, and you have to attach Russell to dump those contracts, then you either eat the money, or you figure out some other way to trade it. Because if D'Angelo's trade value was honestly as low as it was, then you probably could have attached 28 and then maybe a future first, and if you really want to get rid of it that badly. But you do not touch a core piece like D'Angelo. I mean, like, uh, the Lakers walked in here with D'Angelo, Ingram, and Randall, all three a part of the core, or at least in my opinion. And then they also had Zubac there, who was going to be a good piece for them, as well as Nance. So they have all these assets that they've collected over time, and of course Clarkson's. I guess you could call that a good piece as well, since around the league it's viewed as a good piece. And then you have all those pieces right there to move, and you decide to move arguably your best asset, because like Clayton said, D'Angelo Russell has proved more on the court than Brandon Ingram. That's a fact. You cannot argue that. D'Angelo Russell has played 2 seasons. He's done more. He's played better than Brandon Ingram. You can't argue that. And to say that Brandon Ingram has a higher ceiling, now that you can argue. But Russell's shown more on the court, and right now he's the most likely to become a superstar if you had to choose out of the two right now. Obviously, around the league, since D'Angelo Russell hurt his stock because of the whole Nick Young things and all those kind of minor things off the court. Apparently, they just plummeted his stock for some reason. And apparently, Luke Walton wasn't a huge fan, and I'm sure he had some say in this kind of move. So I guess he wasn't the biggest D'Angelo Russell fan either. But I mean, you just really don't make this move unless like you're really trying to like to try to go all out in free agency, and that's the wrong move, especially when you're gonna bring in Lonzo and Ingram, two 19-year-olds who have to make incredible growth curves for you to pair them up with LeBron and Paul George, and for that to become anything formidable whatsoever. That gets into the playoffs. That sure that does, and you lose to the 8 seed. But your ceiling it gets much lower just because LeBron will not be good. Well, he's not an alien, right? He's a freak athlete, but he's not an alien. So he will wear down eventually, and that's going to come sooner or later. And as he starts to wear down, the Lakers' ceiling is going to get lower and lower and lower because Ingram has a really high ceiling, and Lonzo Ball, you could argue, has a really high ceiling as well. But those two, it's just not enough, in my opinion. I think that you traded D'Angelo, who would have been a complementary piece to Lonzo Ball, who could have handled more on-ball duties and let Lonzo do what he does best, which is off-ball. He could have been a great off-ball player, but giving him more on-ball duties and making him run more traditional, like 1-5 pick and rolls and all this kind of stuff, that's not what Lonzo does best. And, I mean, if they don't trade Jordan Clarkson, I mean, then you're going to pair Jordan Clarkson and Lonzo Ball. That's a worse defensive fit than with D'Angelo. So now you're talking with that, and pair it with Brook Lopez, who's a bad defensive five. So I mean, it's really hard to see the team so far. And obviously, there's more dominoes that are going to fall. We'll still find out who exactly they draft, what happens with the draft picks. We're still going to see all that kind of stuff. But right now, the future for the Lakers does not look as bright as it did after the trade. And whether you want to argue that DeAndre also was a good player or not, you cannot argue the ceiling and the talent that he showed so far. And this is not about Magic Johnson being a Twitter head or me not liking the tweets that he said or me thinking he's super dumb on Twitter, because I threw that all out the window. Once he stepped in as a president of basketball operations, because I was rooting for him. He is in charge of my team, and I'm going to root for him to do what's best. I'm not going to root against his interests. I think Clayton was also rooting for that as well. He rooted so much that he even bought into Pelinka and Magic both more than even I did. Just because I just was still skeptical about how intelligent Magic was. And I mean, he's a great guy. He talks well. He's respected around the NBA. But when it comes to making personnel decisions, I questioned his ability to make hard choices, and he proved me right on this one, honestly, because this is a terrible trade. You can give it whatever grade you want to give it, but to get rid of a player with this kind of talent, to dump a player with this kind of talent, it's just really tough to see that being logical for me. It's really hard.
So the thing I keep seeing on Twitter, on here, and whatever is that we have to support them.
Yeah.
Do I hope the Lakers are going to be good? Yes, of course. I'm a freaking fan. I want them to be good.
Right.
But I don't have to agree or say that it was a good trade just because my team did it.
Right.
You know, the team that I'm a fan of. Like you. Like, I don't have to support every freaking move.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, that's just absolutely ridiculous. If you really have that blind type of thinking, then I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
You know, like seriously, the Lakers apparently saw that report that LeBron James may actually be interested in the Lakers, and then they were like, oh, well, in that case, you know, let me do the exact moves that I criticized other people.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, yeah. I mean, do we? I mean, the trade is official. Can we really say anything? I mean, like the whole, you know, it is what it is. You know, the choice has already been made. Yeah, but don't give me no crap that you have to actually accept this. Like, it's just stupid.
Yeah, I mean, just
like
because...
I'm just, it's just absolutely ridiculous. I'm sick and tired of hearing that from fans. Like, it's just blind faith. That's what it is. I mean, and essentially right now what this is Lakers exceptionalism at its best.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, like, this is why the Lakers get made fun of all the time by now while you know the team is in the mud, because they make dumb trades, they make dumb moves.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't know.
I mean, it's just tough for me to see like the direction of the team, especially when they've been preaching and preaching constantly that they're gonna try to rebuild and take their time, and they just kept yelling it out and they put it out there and they really want to make it known that they're rebuilding and that they're gonna move forward with this youth. And I mean, they went in the complete opposite direction. Like they literally misled the fans, they misled everyone. And I mean, it's just crazy how fans can still support that kind of action. I mean, of course you expect it because it's Magic Johnson, and of course fans are going to gravitate towards him because he's a legend. And I mean, like this is a move that I know Stephen A. Smith is not the smartest guy, but he said that there are certain things that Magic Johnson would do that he would not get flack for if it was unless it was like Jim Buss. Like if Jim Buss did this trade, he'd be getting a ton of crap. He'd get no support whatsoever. Everyone would hate the trade. But now there's Magic Johnson, now it's a new regime. Now they have some kind of new found unworthy faith in the front office, and I just think it's just bad. It's just like it's they haven't proven anything. This is the first offseason to prove it, and the first thing they do this offseason is trade D'Angelo Russell. Like that's their big move. That the first domino, obviously, and it just really lets you know the direction that the team's going in. And if this domino is any indication, like I wrote in the article that I published just a few minutes ago, like if this is any indication, then the Lakers are gonna go all in to winning. And after preaching rebuilding, I mean, it's just tough for me to find out what they want, because if they really want to go all in, just trade Ingram and number 2 pick, just trade everything. Just blow it up completely. I mean, if honestly that's what you want to do, you might as well just blow it up. Trade all your assets, trade everything. If that's what you're gonna do.
Here's the thing, like how you said, just blow it up. I mean, essentially, what this move signaled is that they have no idea what they're doing. Okay, they don't have a plan, because you make this type of move when you have something locked and loaded immediately to go.
Yeah.
This is you make this move. I mean, I still wouldn't like it, but like at least it would be a lot more understandable. Like you make this move, and then within 5 minutes, Paul George is coming here.
Yeah.
Would I be really happy that you did it that way? No, not really. Because I mean, I've continued to say Paul George is not the end all be all.
Yeah.
So, like, you get Paul George, you still need 2 other superstars to compete with Golden State. You're not competing now. This is what I don't understand. You're not going to compete now.
Yeah.
You're way too far away from that. This is like, this is apparently only Lakers fans that don't understand that this is a waiting game right now.
Yeah.
There are 2 teams in the NBA that maybe 3 you could go with, like San Antonio, because they, until Kawhi went down, they were looking surprising. I mean, he's just that damn good. But yeah, as Dame in the live chat said, if the Lakers had a plan, the other foot would have dropped by now. Yeah, they would have pulled off whatever. With this move, it just shows, oh yeah, well, we're going to be able to swindle them.
Mm-hmm.
The news of the 5 and 10. I know I talked about this earlier. The news of 5 and 10, and then they were going to use 10 to add on top of 27, 28, and then either Clarkson or Randall. Like you're negotiating against yourself.
Yeah.
Like any other team does this, they are ridiculed.
Right.
But because it's the Lakers and they're a glamour franchise, and it's Magic Johnson and Kobe Bryant's agent, everyone's just like, oh no, I understand it. Yeah, I understand that they really wanted to get rid of Mozgov's deals. I hated them initially. Again,
Yep.
I try to be optimistic, and again, I should have just. Yeah,
I mean,
and someone was talking about the Kings. Yeah, David Aldrich reported that they tried to go for 2 for 5 and 10, and that they got turned down.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just insane. My fears of the front office totally realized, like, making dumb moves for as you said in your article on Lakers Pulse, that they're just, instead of going through the draft, they're going to just try and continue to build through free agency, which the Lakers have never been a freaking free agent destination. Like, we got Shaq 20 years ago, and ever since then, what the next one was Artest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So Pisano Productions apparently says that he wants us to talk about the other side of the coin.
Oh yes. Oh, okay. You know what? 5 minutes. Brooklyn is looking awesome right now. They're probably looking better than the Lakers because they're taking the rebuild step by step perfectly. They're not rushing anything because there is no rush. All right.
I do like D'Angelo with LeVert and Rondé Hollis Jefferson.
Definitely.
That's very intriguing.
Yeah, and I mean they also have the 22nd pick in the draft, so they'll probably do something with that since their scouting department nailed LeVert. So I mean they'll probably do pretty well with that pick. And I mean, like, they're just honestly they're probably in a better place than the Lakers because their fan base is putting no pressure on them. They have not responded with any kind of urgency to make any win now moves. They've just been trying to take bad contracts, and they think this is the perfect trade that you do when you're rebuilding. You take on a bad contract, but you take a really promising player with a really high upside, and especially with Brooklyn being so bad, no one Marquis going to want to go there.
The Nets essentially traded 27 for D'Angelo Russell, who 2 years ago was the second overall pick. And I know people do not like him, but he had historical numbers for a 21-year-old point guard who played underneath 30 minutes. Is there context to that? Yeah, of course. Like, he was bad on defense. He had some bad decision making, obviously. But, like, when he got over 32 minutes a game this year, every game that he had over 20 points.
Right.
You know, if I'm going to try and look at this from the Lakers' perspective as a positive, because God forbid we're actually doom and gloom and no one actually wants to hear that. The Lakers got rid of Mozgov's contract, which I would have preferred to get rid of Dang's contract because as a backup, Mozgov is fine. Overpaid, obviously.
Right. Very overpaid.
But fine. What are you going to do with that cap space?
Oh, well, apparently their plan is to
hold on to that cap space. You're going to end up using he wasn't just bad on defense. He got okay. So Sean Randall, D'Angelo is fine at point of attack. If you really want to see someone get torched on defense, it's everyone's, activity apparently for them equals achievement. Jordan Clarkson, who can't play defense.
Yeah.
He
certainly wasn't the most quick-footed guard ever, but I mean, he did good.
He used his length well, but God forbid he's not athletic, so he doesn't know what the hell he's doing out there. But you get 27. I don't know if that's probably going to end up being used as trade fodder for Paul George. You got rid of Mozgov. You're going to be trying to punt on cap space, and what you're going to have to do this year is you're going to have to not sign anything plus next year.
Mm-hmm.
So, Michael Nasby, Alonzo Ball doesn't play no dang defense either. You should watch former podcasts. We've said that. And if Lonzo Ball doesn't work out, then you're kind of just screwed. I mean, like, I'm a huge fan of, like, also Ingram. That's the one guy that they've been talking about being unprotected, or untradeable.
Untouchable.
Yeah, untouchable. He was very bad last year, and I'm a huge Ingram fan. Go back and watch before last year's draft.
Literally, the biggest Ingram fan.
Do not use real plus minus. I'm like, fucking word. Yeah. I mean, people have already made up their mind on this, so it really doesn't matter what we say. We're not changing people's minds on it. If you don't like it, then this is a reactionary podcast. That's fine. Um, someone asked how that Dwight Howard trade. Have fun with that. And PER also isn't a very reliable stat either.
Yeah, I mean, like honestly, this trade for Brooklyn makes all sense in the world. Like they should be dancing with joy because they have a guy with some serious potential here, potential to be a star, a superstar. I mean, I don't even think there's no reason for me to be biased. D'Angelo Russell's not my family member. He's not on my team anymore, so there's no reason for me to be biased. I'm still telling you, this guy is going to be really good, and that should mean something because he is going to be really good. He just showed the potential, and the potential is what Brooklyn needs right now. They need the potential to be good, and he had moments where he was actually good. And if he just builds on it and builds consistency and has a coach that actually believes in him and doesn't bench him after midway through the season, for Jordan Clarkson, who
oh my word,
just insane.
At least it's an exciting off season. Oh, yay!
Yeah. We're so happy right now. You can just see our smile. Just yeah, I mean, it's honestly, it's a terrible trade for the Lakers. Like, there's no other way to put it. It's a terrible trade for the Lakers. They sold low on a guy who had a really promising future. You pretty much just burned that asset just to get rid of a contract, which you're going to use it to get free agency money for free agents that may not come here. And it's kind of like Clayton kept saying, they rinse and repeat. This happened a lot. With LaMarcus Aldridge, and it happened with Carmelo Anthony, and happened with LeBron James before. This has all happened before. The Lakers go after these guys, pitch them the idea of LA, pitch them the idea of Magic and Pelinka and how they're going to fix everything, and Genie's going to be there, and Jim Buss isn't there anymore, and they're not going to sign there because they're not morons, and it's just they're going to keep saving that cap space, and eventually they're just going to end up rebuilding again, tanking, and if Pelinka and Magic are still running the thing, they're probably going to trade those picks, and it's going to be rinse and repeat. Because we've already seen this story before. Right? Like, there was no rush to trade D'Angelo Russell. No one there was no ticking time bomb with the Lakers to put a championship trophy in the trophy case. There was no window. You spent all this time rebuilding countless resources on scouting, on drafting, on all this kind of stuff, and you're just gonna blow that all up just for cap relief. It just doesn't make sense. And I mean, I guess this would have been more shocking if it came from like Mitch, who, since he was a guy who drafted D'Angelo, and I guess you could make the argument that these guys weren't that high on him, and that they probably would have drafted someone else, Julia Okafor maybe, I don't know. But it's so odd that the Lakers gave up on D'Angelo Russell, because that's essentially what they did. They gave up on D'Angelo Russell, because if you still had faith in him, you'd keep him for one more year and then try to move on from him if you really don't want him here, and if you really don't believe in him that much. I mean, there's no reason not to give him one more year. His contract does not expire. And Mozgov, this trade should not have happened until next offseason. We should not be talking about this until next offseason, because next offseason is when LeBron and Paul George and those guys are free agents. That's when we should really be talking about whether we can bring him in or not. And if LeBron says, okay, I'm coming, then this trade looks much better, because you do anything to get LeBron. Like that, at this point, he's so great that you do anything to get him. Even if he's old, even no matter what, you try your best to get LeBron James. That's what you do. And if he tells you next offseason that he's going to come for sure, then you do it. You do it no matter what. That's fine. And we can live with that because we have the results in our face. We have LeBron James, a guy that is actually on the roster. We see on the roster. There's no hypothetical. There is no destination. There is no target. He is on the roster. That would be much easier to cope with, but with it's so early that it just looks like there was no plan. Like the whole Sacramento thing, it looked like this thing on the fly that they're just trying to like adjust on the fly and trying to see what they can do. All right, we got rid of D'Angelo Russell. Now what? And now that if Sacramento was their only plan, now they're just stuck. They're just stuck in this place that you don't want to be, which is just like you have assets and you're gonna end up dealing them for a really good player, but he's going to be your only really good player, and then you're just stuck with Paul George and Ingram, and that's just like, that's not a place we want to be. The whole point of this rebuild was to have multiple good players to contend, because that's what you need. You don't just need one guy anymore. You need multiple guys. I mean, just to get to the Cavs level, the Lakers have to work so hard, and they have to get so many suckers to bite on these trades. Like, they have to like trade the number 2 pick for Jimmy Butler, and then they have to get Paul George and then get LeBron James, and they just can't.
Yeah. I mean, just I mean, to answer a few of the things going on in the live chat. I, as Silver and Black said, cap relief to sign proven stars over draft prospects. We've seen how that turns out. And Rudy Markle said, I just think the option to dump Mozgov early was the incentive, and hoping Sack took the trade down. As we said before, if you want to do this trade, whatever. Like I can't not and none of us can stop them. Do the trade, but you have to make sure they're actually going to do that trade before you do a trade like this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, you can't make a trade and then pray, and then like, oh shit, later now I can't do anything about it.
Right.
You're stuck now. Like you lost an asset, and yeah, you got cap space. Whoop-de-doo. We've been, championing that for how long, and it really didn't mean anything. Silver and Black Jay said, you're all mad over D'Lo being gone. Obviously, brace yourselves for the Randall trade coming up. I have been totally fine with trading Randall. I like him, but there's several prospects that I would take way ahead of him. So, can one of you tell me what your ceiling is for D'Lo? I think he could be a top 20 player eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I do like this question with Sean Randall. Can you guys talk about what you think the Lakers would have done if Sack said yes, so we can see if they try to make another similar move? Well, honestly, you're not going to be able to make a move similar to that unless they're going to do kind of like the Phoenix Suns, who have already turned them down for like Dragon Bender or their pick next year, and then switch 2 for 4.
Mm-hmm.
There's just no other teams that really have that option unless you're going to try and get a 2018 pick. But the problem with trying to get a 2018 pick right now is you're going to, any team that's going to do that is going to make sure that there are enough protections that you're not really ever going to get a great one.
Yeah.
You're not ever going to get a great pick. Deep enough to get a guard that is as good as D'Lo. I guess I don't understand what you're trying to say. Have you seen the report of Dallas declining the Lakers' offer of D'Lo for 9? Yes, I saw that. This is yet another. We kind of minorly touched on it, but we didn't really go super deep into it. They tried for lottery picks, and apparently I made fun of Chad Ford because I never take what he says seriously, because he goes back and changes his draft boards years later. But if D'Angelo Russell's trade value is that low that you're essentially just getting 27, you should probably just hold on for another year, because you can probably find another team to do something like this again later.
Yeah.
And you're gonna hopefully get a higher pick, at 27, 28 now with how this draft is, after 14, from between 14, like 15 to, what have I said, 40, it's loaded full of big men. So I guess real quick, let's talk options instead of just complaining the entire time about it, because, God forbid we actually talk crap about a move. 27 and 28 currently right now, Draft Express has Derek White and Terrence Ferguson, unless they just changed it. Yeah, Derek White and Terrence Ferguson. I would like those picks. Terrence Ferguson's a little old. He's a 1/2. He can handle the ball. He can shoot a little bit. He's a good defender. He was an all Pac-12 defender. Terrence Ferguson is young, 19.
You said you said Terrence Ferguson twice. You don't say Derek
Oh,
White.
Derek White at 27. He's the 1-2. Terrence Ferguson is more of a 2-3. He's got good form to be a shooter. Do I know if that's going to translate? I have no idea. The mechanics aren't bad, and he's pretty athletic, so you hope that he develops into some type of 3 and D. Honestly, like, if these picks aren't being traded for Paul George, there are 2 moves that I think that really, like, this is I've been like yelling about this for I don't know how long. You now need to get like OG and EK, in my opinion. Will the offense be very good to start? Nope. But Lonzo, everyone's favorite point guard prospect, was very good with him at UCLA. He's the type of big man that I like. A rim runner, a good roll man, a guy that will catch Lonzo's alley-oops. He's also a good defender. Not necessarily yet on the perimeter. He's good at the rim. He does jump at everything, but
Literally everything.
Yeah, but he's got the potential to. I mean, he's I think the youngest guy in the draft at 18.7 years old. I think that's the youngest. Maybe, yeah, because Frank Ntilikina is the second youngest. Those are 2 guys I think that you're going to have to really look at. What are some options for you, Nelson?
I mean, yeah, Derek White. I mean, Derek White and Terrence Ferguson would be pretty good there. I like
Swanigan. I'm like,
yeah, just because of Caleb Swanigan. I think I'd be happy with if we got EK that low. I'm still dubious whether we can get him that low. DJ Wilson is another guy. You know, I'm a fan of his. I think that he can they can thrive in the much more modern NBA. And he certainly helped the defense. I'm still a little bit I still have some questions about the offense, but I think that the defense and the switchability is good enough there that I feel comfortable taking him. And then apart from that, I think it's just really tough to gauge what kind of players are going to fall there.
Yeah, because as if anyone watched our mock draft just last night, we predict that a lot more wings are going to be going in that range and instead of bigs. So like
Right.
I could see like EK dropping. Do I think it's likely? No. OG has got questions on his ACL. They put him up 2 spots on Draft Express, but just the other day, like not even the other day, just literally yesterday, there were reports that he could slide. No one knows really how this is going to play after. What do you think? 14?
Yeah.
I mean, really, even before that, it's like 12 is like the last real spot where things are kind of solidified. Luke Kennard, I think, has kind of solidified his spot in 12. Not that I necessarily agree,
I think after 13, because I think Frank Ntilikina is definitely going to go higher than 14. So I think
yeah,
I think the top 13, including Frank Ntilikina, is like pretty much set. Like we don't know the order yet exactly, but I think that's pretty much set. And after that, it's just like a complete tire fire. Like Josh Hart's going to go in the first round. Like I can pretty much, I feel pretty confident in saying that. Wesley Windows, another guy that I think is also going to go in the first round just because of the need of having wings. Jordan Bell, another guy that I see going in the first round that's projected in the second. Bolden, who's gotten a lot of helium, I think he also goes in the first. Juwan Evans, I definitely think is going to go in the first. I know it's kind of tough to predict exactly who rises and who falls, but there's just no way that this run of bigs happens. It does not happen until the second round, in my opinion. It's just
yeah.
the need for wings is too huge, and honestly, like there isn't a huge difference between Thomas Bryant and Bam Adebayo. Like it's not like something where like you like have to get one or the other. You know, it's not like anything that's like a major gap is what I'm trying to say. It's not a major gap between the big man talent. So I mean, you could definitely see some teams going, oh yeah, I can just wait on him. Like he'll be there, and if he's not there, a similar player is going to be around there just because there's so many bigs that are just projected there, and there's no way that many bigs go there. You know.
Yeah. Someone's getting getting blocked on here. That's not a comment that's going to be allowed on here. Rudy Markel put Swanigan and OG. You're apparently like Swanigan doesn't play defense, and he plays inside out, and I don't think he's going to be able to shoot the NBA three. That's a no. A couple people have brought in Porzingis. Apparently, the asking price for Porzingis was astronomical. So unless you're trading, 2 and Ingram and other pieces, you're not getting him. And honestly, people need to look at Ingram or Porzingis' second half of the year. Each of the past 2 years, he's been very disappointing in those times. I know that the first year was his rookie year, but playing big man is honestly easier to play than a point guard. Also, a guy that is 7'3", he's already shown, and this was a concern that I had before he was drafted. He's already shown that he has injury issues. How serious they are, I have no idea, but he's constantly plagued by him. And then this year he had an Achilles injury, and for a big guy, that scares me a lot, especially with his playing style. I can't honestly see him being traded. I mean, like, Phil Jackson's stupid, but he can't be that dumb. Right. Can he? Can he?
Well, I mean, I guess we're gonna find out how stupid these front offices really are, because from the looks of it, they're not that smart. So it's kind of sad that the Kings had to save the Lakers from themselves. That's pretty depressing. Just because we've laughed and laughed and laughed at the Kings constantly, and they actually made a good move, and they stayed at 5-10, and they're gonna get 2 good players, and they're not gonna trade up to get some player that I just think that 5-10 have more value than 2 at this point, especially if you're a rebuilding team. So I mean, the Kings are being smart, so that's a bad time.
Yeah. Guys that are kind of options there. You like Jordan Bell. Apparently, I hate Jordan Bell.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I just don't like his measurements. I think he could be really good, but I think his length will be an issue.
That's not ideal.
Yeah. I'm kind of done. Still just annoyed. So, Nelson, do you have anything coming out, or is there any last things that you want to say?
So I just released an article talking about how the front office finally unveiled their master plan, and it's not what anyone expected, or at least not what they said. And it's been getting a lot of hate. So if you guys feel that strongly about it, I mean, that's fine. Of course, it's my opinion. It is opinionated. I'm not reporting anything. It's not news. It's just my opinion on the look of the front office. And I'm also going to be working on Clayton's mock draft. So he picked the players already. Now I need to justify them somehow. Clayton's pretty dumb. I mean, it's going to be pretty tough for me to do that. And I'm also going to write the all-hair team, which is definitely going to come out before the draft. And Lonzo Ball pieces after the draft, definitely. So that's kind of the plan so far. I mean, unless the Lakers trade for Paul George and I have to write another editorial on why the Lakers are done, then that should be the plan for now.
Yeah, I've got a few. Yeah, I've got a few things that I want to write about. I don't know if I'm going to publish them before or after the draft. One, I'm gonna have to, but especially now with like what the Lakers are really going to need, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't think of anything else. Anyways, sorry that we apparently weren't all rainbows and bubblegum and everything like that. Obviously, we did not like the trade, and we don't have a problem being negative. I don't think that we have to always be positive. Life isn't always positive. So whatever.
Right.
Um,
I d-
thank you.
yeah.
Rudy said unicorns too, and puppy dog tails and whatever stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I do want to say one more thing. You know, just for the people who are crushed by D'Angelo, they're being traded. Just know that she's just a player, and there are plenty of other basketball players, and the trades like this happen. Dumb trades like this happen in organizations, like they're bound to happen unless you have like geniuses running 24/7. These things happen. Questionable moves happen. We still need to see how it works out in the long run, definitely. But as of right now, this is a reactionary podcast, and there is no other reaction to feel after trading such a valuable piece for very little. I mean, this is honestly, you can't expect us to come here and then just justify this trade when we don't believe that. We can't say something that we don't believe, and I think that that's what this podcast is really based on. We say what we believe, and people don't usually like it, but that's fine. It happens.
That's fine. Real last final question I'm going to answer. What do we think that we do with the two? It's going to be Alonso. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
Anyways, if you're listening on audio, rate and review us on iTunes. We're also on SoundCloud. If you hate us, go ahead and write about that, but still give us 5 stars because you have to. I mean, if we have to be nice from now on, then you guys have to be nice as well, right?
Right. Those are the rules.
Okay. Anyways, thank you guys. Have a great night, and hopefully you guys catch us next time.
Yeah. See you guys.
Bye.